is very in line with our mission to promote healing and growth. So I welcome Catherine Valleroy, and she will introduce her guest.
Thank you. Okay, it's going to take me a little second to, there we go. Okay. Hello, everybody. It is so good to have you all here. I want to thank you for coming. Is this okay? Can you hear me? Okay. Okay. Better? Oh, much better. Okay. Thank you for coming this evening to support the Spiritus Christi Mental Health Center. Up higher? Okay, there we go. My name is Catherine Valleroy, as Amy said, and I'm going to take you through this evening a book of poetry called Seeing, which is the third in a trilogy of poetry that I've done. Better Look has been published. It's out there right now. And thank you to everyone that has given me wonderful reviews. It's really exciting to get all these faces. So, Seeing are a bunch of poems that were written while I was meditating and praying. They're very spiritual in nature, and I fancy myself a spiritual poet. So, I'd like to take this moment to introduce Dr. Stephen Armstrong, my accompaniment. Stephen flew here from Raleigh, North Carolina, to be here this evening. Stephen and I are very dear friends, and we have collaborated on music and poetry over the past, what would you say, about a year?
Yeah, 18 months.
Yeah. So he has done, I have albums with my books, and Seeing has an album which is just his playing and my speaking. So it's piano accompaniment. It's really neat. That will be coming out in about 2 years. It's all done, but we have to stage these things. So, Dr. Armstrong has his credentials from Michigan State University. He has a dual master's degree in musicology and piano performance. He also has a musicology PhD from the Eastman School of Music. So quite the credentials. Very lucky to have him here today. I've asked Dr. Armstrong to start with getting us in the mood, getting me a little less nervous than I am right now. Just sort of bring us in with an interlude. So with the piano stylings of Dr. Armstrong, would you take it away? Thank you, Dr. Armstrong. Thank you. I feel a lot calmer now, not as shaken up. I have been affiliated with Spiritus Christi Mental Health Center for about 10 years. About 10 years ago, I came to Maureen Marlowe, who is now the retired director of the center, and asked her if we could start a support group for mentally ill persons and their caretakers. And she was very receptive to this. We ran this group for several years until it kind of ran its course. But it was amazing, the work that we were able to do. I helped facilitate it with her. I'm going to share with you that I am a mental health sufferer. I have bipolar disorder, and I struggle with that sometimes from time to time. But I've also been a caretaker of people with mental health disorders in my family. So that group was really important to me when I started. This next poem is about honoring how it feels to have one of the many mental illnesses in the world. It's called Prayer of the Mentally Ill. I am prone to spells when my brain's circuits and chemistry go awry. Perhaps the circumstances of a day, of a time in my life, of another part of my body pull the trigger and I go astray. Perhaps a time of year brings with it less sunshine, and like a plant, I do not thrive. During these times, please find it in your heart to meet me where I am. Please find it in your heart to accept I am disenfranchised even from myself, much less from the world and you. Know that I know, on some level, how patient you are to meet me in this place of confusion and anger and sadness, this time of self-loathing, of self-destruction, of the loss of reality. For this place of dis-ease is lonelier than you could ever imagine. And I am depleted because of it. Please help me be restored. Believe in me as I cannot believe in myself. Have faith for when I am in this seemingly godless place. And hold hope for both of us, as I am not myself. Okay, the next poem is about some conversations that I've had people in my life. Unfortunately, I have quite a few people that are terminally ill, and we've been discussing things like, how do you give away your possessions? And I am so honored to walk with these people that I wrote a poem to give voice to what this kind of activity takes like. So this poem is called A Holy Exchange. These objects are my lifetime, resources of my past. I have collected each word, each thread, each mark upon my life, and have long carried them with me. But now, where shall they go? For I am advancing to a place where I cannot take them. And the someday has now come, when I am needing to empty my world of objects. Is this not loss? Is this not my dismissal? Yet what if this process is divine, and gifting each precious possession, I merely imprint my intentions upon the universe. So as each entity passes from me to you in a holy exchange. I not only remember it, share it, release it, but now I am assured my essence is within our souls. Okay. This next poem has to do with the meditation that I do with the Jennifer House women. I think meditation makes you vulnerable. And certainly one of the house manager pointed out after I did the first meditation with them that she would have never closed her eyes in a room full of people and just let go until she went through this process with us. It would have made her feel very vulnerable, she said. But she did so and had another experience altogether. This poem is about that. It's called Close Your Eyes. I asked you to close your eyes and didn't know how vulnerable it made you feel. For it involved you trusting the darkness, trusting others, trusting yourself. And in that darkness, there might be insight or another cage. And with trusting, there might be kindness or betrayal. You didn't know, but you obliged me nonetheless. So you closed your eyes and breathed. You closed your eyes and let time pass with grace. A grace that comes with letting go, with trusting a process. And time passed without you knowing it, without you counting each and every second. And grace was possible because you engaged and trusted and sat and waited and then opened your eyes again and found you were in a better place. I have a few meditators in here. I've done meditation for about 9 years, and I've been able to get people involved from all over the country and the world. And it's been really an amazing process. This next series of poems is about the seasons, such as they are in Rochester. So sometimes we have our gray Aprils, right? And our winters that don't ever seem to go away. But I love the seasons, and I find that they are very spiritual in nature for me. So, the first poem is called April's Spring. What do I do when the dullness sets in and I fall prey to my lower self? For boredom has haunted my soul as it thirsts for the vibrant pools of dreams just outside of my reach. When the sun hides behind clouds, forcing shadows and gray to drop across the land, holding me at bay. Oh, that dull piece of April has caught me cold and damp, tiring of the desolate. Yet I hold a hopeful knowledge that these are the days that grow flowers, that these are the days that push foliage out of the branches, that hold immense promise if we can see past their holding pattern. To dream to the dreams that lay ahead of me, just past these final snows, just past this final mud, to the ramblings of flowers and bees, and the shadowing of leaves against the sun on a cloudless summer day. So that's our mud season, but I can find charm even in mud, I guess. This next poem has to do with my favorite season, which is winter. I like it because it slows me down and makes me contemplative. And it's just, I don't know, I love winter. And I have this apartment with all these windows, and I fancy it my snow globe. And when there's a snowstorm, it's just like being in a snow globe. It's amazing. So the first poem or the second poem of seasons is called Stillness. Be still with winter. Come to rest and reflect amongst her frigid moments. And know that in this season, nature is merely pausing to catch her breath, sleeping to awaken. Frozen life, still life, caught in the dreams of crystals and snowflakes. Surely she and we will awaken soon enough. But until then, let us dwell amongst winter's deep, deep contemplations and enjoy time unfolding, moment by moment, as the darkness patiently becomes the light. And here we are in fall. So, of course, here's a poem about fall. It's called Blessed Apocalyptic. The prowess of autumn is change, golden and dramatic in its effects. Upon us it layers a harvest with death. Never so opulent a season, rich in its chilling premise that foregoes pretense for the sake of sheer beauty, that forebodes winter will come, but first we will be golden. First there will be a pageant of royalty in its foliage, its landscape, its march to claim that all will be reclaimed, back to the bone, back to God, to the eventual rebirth, within the simplicity of a silence that comes after migrations, a temporal hibernation, when all appears to be lost for a time to starkness. But first, with the eventual draining of life, comes vibrant colors, yellow and gold and red and brown and orange. And then those leaves fall to carpet the land, that shroud protecting the seeds of springtime, the animals of summer, life and resurrection. Okay, how's everybody doing? Excellent. Okay. This next section of poems is about how to manage yourself in hard times. That's kind of how life is these days, I guess. And I think courage and acceptance and patience have a lot to do with how you can manage these things. So the first poem is called In Hard Times. In hard times, what is there to do in life if not the next right thing? The task at hand, staying the course. And still, all at once, pain and doubt and resignation rotates around you, travels through you, tries to take a hold of you. And yet, what is it that life is asking of you? But just to try, to keep persevering, to hold on, to go along as if there was a point, as if you trust there is a process, as if all in life is divine. For when you abide by these things, you hold onto hope, float in turbulent water, advance, and grow. Courage. A blending of faith and strength. A culmination of facing dread, the sinking pit in the stomach, the potential loss of hope. As we are lifted on high to a better purpose than doubt. God, thank you for giving me the capacity to choose not to succumb, but to thrive within the principles of love. And for all those times I have faced my fears, I know that I was better for it. A struggle that once would have finished me now begins with the knowledge that all will be good, that I have all that I need, and that all is within my capacity if I am but willing. Okay, this next poem is called Dream Away. Where does hope go when days become forlorn and heavy and bygone? Where does hope go when you have lost your faith and your urge to seek and have lost yourself? In these times, remember that hope is a recognition of who you are and what you can be and where you might go. That hope is not about given things, but is the path towards something we courageously imagine. That manifestation of what can be. Hope ignites when someone or something elicits within us our dreams again. Our self-love, our veiled destiny. So, my dear friend, may you hope again and dream away. Okay, this is the last poem of this set. How's everybody doing? Awesome. Okay. We do, as Amy mentioned, have cookies and decaf coffee and tea and water. The cookies were donated from Goodman Bakes, which is on East Avenue, and is an amazing place. It's right by the little theater. The cookies have no nuts in them. There are some gluten-free for a parish that loves their gluten-free hosts. So we'll take about 20 minutes and take a break and treat it like a coffee house. You know, mingle with each other, get to know each other. And then we'll reconvene for the final set. Does that sound good? Okay, well, one more poem. Any cat lovers in the audience? Yes, I am one of them. Well, this next poem is about my PC, my poetry cat, my politically correct poetry cat. His name is Dixon, and he is a character. Dixon. I see my cat Dixon delights far more in the moment than I do. For he sleeps soundly no matter whether it rains or shines, whether I pay the bills today or stretch my dollars into tomorrow. He has his place in this world, and it is based in God's serenity. He knows nothing else, as I should too, if I could trust as he does, sleeping soundly, like an angel, awakening only to his certain inner callings for food and love and sleep. Well, mostly sleep. I am humbled by the simplicity of his routine. Even Edna Cullen once said she wished she could live like him, without a care in the world, without hesitancy. Yet Dixon has me to do the simple but imperative tasks of feeding and cleaning his litter box and loving him. And that seems to be just enough to keep him on an even keel. And oh yes, love is on his terms, not mine. Yet that is not to say that he is not generous, just not predictable. And in the scheme of things, I have to catch myself to not think of what life would be without him. He is, after all, 19 years old, yet not chasing his demise. And if I get the point of his existence in my life to bring about serenity, then I had best pay attention to how contently he sleeps. Thank you. Let's go have some cookies and some coffee. Thank you. Thank you. And everything is this way. How's everybody doing? Did you like the cookies? They were pretty good, weren't they?
You like your poetry more.
Oh, you like my poetry more. Thank you. That's amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, I hope that you are enjoying yourselves and you are relating to my poetry. I try and make it relatable. I try and make it authentic. I try and make it accessible, because I know sometimes poetry can be kind of haughty, so try not to be that way. The next 3 poems I'm going to read are from my first book, which is what they talked about, which has been published on Amazon, and it's going to soon be in Barnes & Noble. It's called Better Look, and I'm also releasing a spoken word album probably sometime in November, where I've done what Stephen and I are doing, except this time I did it with a full band, and yeah, it was amazing. So I've gone from one extreme to the other. Poems in Better Look chronicle my journey inward to my authentic self. That was very important to me. It's the first book in a trilogy. The first poem I'm going to read tonight is about how I had to leave a very demanding job while trying to balance being mentally ill, having a family, being married, and trying to stay sober. All that at one time. So, this poem is called Last Days at Work. I wake up selfish, yesterday's makeup under my eyes. We reach for each other, both preoccupied with the day ahead. Our son, half asleep, somewhere in the background, is about to be carted off. I reach for my breakfast, coffee and Prozac. We kiss goodbye. Excruciating the time from when I hear your car leave to when my bathrobe hits the cold floor. Excruciating when I can see yesterday washing down the drain. Pain flung aside like the shower curtain, I dry and suit up into sausage casing, forcing size 6 clothes over a 10 body. I elevate, grab more coffee, and race out the door. Excruciating the time from the driveway to the office, already late. Excruciating my manic manner and pangs of loneliness. I arrive with these secrets, hoping for conversation rather than piles of work. Throughout the day, I binge on coffee and water and business lunches. I binge on people and projects and spur-of-the-moment shopping sprees. Nothing fills me. So I go home selfish to exercise and plan tomorrow's outfit, existing on the outskirts of my family, myself. Okay. And from that, we go to the mundane, which was me staying at home and going grocery shopping. So, see if you can figure out which Wegmans this is. Okay. This poem is called Grocery Shopping. We, my son and I, go once or twice in a month. He is still small enough to sit in the cart. He is still happy to be contained, to make eye contact, to have my undivided attention. Our creature comforts first. We share a box of cupcakes, 2 each, firm and cool, swirling high with buttercream, bright colors, candied sprinkles. Smart how they place the bakery first. As we make our way, I have devoured mine, 2 mouthfuls per. My son has devoured the frosting and tiny cake bites. We move to produce, me with greasy fingers and a list, he with wrapped cakes and a frosted mouth. A stock boy with paper towels takes one look at us and offers up some sheets. As I bag cut broccoli, my son offers to exchange his cakes for a piece. I in turn waste nothing. Next we pass the aquarium. He spots lobsters. My choices are less glamorous. Mostly we eat catfish. On we go, I must admit, losing momentum, the best of it really over, toward utilitarian aisles of cans and plastic, cardboard and glass. We both squirm thirsty as our sugar levels dip. Smart how they place coolers of soda so near the end. As we get our second wind, we head toward checkout. Waiting, we are not distracted by the candy. I reach for a magazine, lose 10 pounds in a week, flattering bathing suits for your body type. Put it down, glad I ate the cakes. Then I empty the cart of all its contents, including my son, and pay the bill, usually forgetting to pay for the cakes. Then once out the automatic doors, We hop on the cart and ride to the car. Okay. This next poem has to do with my really first, most profound experience with meditating. I went to the Abbey of the Genesee, which is in Pafard outside of Geneseo, and that's where they make the monk's bread. And I did a silent monastic retreat for a week. And I did a lot of introspection there. And one day I was walking in the fields where they grow the wheat, and I had my first real experience with emptying myself while meditating and finding God. And this poem is about that. It's called Meditation. On my walk, my senses began to dull, till I saw nor heard anything. Not the creek, nor its gurgling, not my breath, nor my breathing, not the vastness of the winter ground, nor my boots crunching through its icy snow, not the crows in the bare trees above the fields, nor their cawing. I was discomforted by such a deafening silence, white blindness. I feared having a thoughtless mind, yet I found the courage to let go, to transcend familiar states, to go beyond the world and myself. And though the world and me came back, I was filled with peace. I was filled with hope. And then I knew I had emptied myself enough to find my God. Okay. Those are 3 poems from my book. Now, as Monty Python would say, and now for something completely different. This is a poem that's about the whimsy of the possibility of getting together with someone that you are romantically interested in. It's short and sweet and to the point. It's called On the Edge of Reminiscing. On the edge of reminiscing, I came to hold you close and wondered if we would partake a covenant within an endless embrace, transcending us from time and space, to walk forever hand in hand, vanquishing the hourglass's sand. And should this ethereal connection stand, it will be as the divine had planned. Okay, this next poem is about friendship. Friendship's very important to me. I'm an only child, so many of my friends are like siblings. To me, friends love and direct and are compassionate with you. They are like the North Star. And this poem is called Due North Friends for that reason. Due North Friends. You want friends who don't indulge you. Indulge your dark imaginings, your addictive natures, your self-pity. Instead, you want them to be gentle, but firm, pointing you in the direction of your true due north self, centering you, loving you, building you up, but not to a pedestal, grounding you to the earth, walking with you side by side, holding you through treachery and lies, yours and the world's, stepping you into the light and out of the shadows, standing with you letting you go when necessary, taking you back into their hearts, as you will always start again, renewing with your true due north friends. Okay. Does anyone ever project in this audience? Do you ever worry about the future too much? Nah, me either. But, just in case I ever have a weak moment where I go down that path, I decided to write a poem about projecting and not living in the future. So, this poem is called "Don't Get Lost in the Notion of Tomorrow." I get lost in this place where today does not exist, where tangible things are not within my grasp. For this is where fear and projection reign. It is nebulous at best. And I know what draws me there. My confusion after word of the future. For there is no anchoring in tomorrow. Its seas are too unsure to steady yourself upon. So remember that today's moments are blessed, that they break down the complex into the simple, the compelling, the manageable. Today hugs the shoreline. It assures safety and peace. It is strong and stalwart. It is where you just can be in today. Okay. This next poem is called Patience, and it took me an hour and a half on my printer to try and print it out. So I think it's aptly called Patience because I had to have a lot of patience with this poem. So, patience. Patience bestows for you flowers along the road of life. For if you were to race past them, hurrying with preoccupation, you might miss them altogether. So walk with purpose. Walk carefully enough to make sure you do not lose those flowers. For even if, in the past seasons of your life, you have missed their blooming, no flowers like instances can be perennial, reseed. So if you walk consistently, even redundantly, through life, you will not miss them. For a well-worn path is kept by God, your faith, His garden, those flowers, your patience. Okay, I have a special treat for us. A dear friend of mine, Megan Flaherty, who is an accomplished choreographer and dancer, I brought a poem to her called This Dance of One. And Megan brought dance to it, Stephen brings music to it, and I bring words to it. So, with that, we actually were going to do this as a recorded piece, but we like our synergy so much in working together that we put all of us together. So this is going to be live for you, live all the way around. It's called This Dance of One. I am a soloist gracing the stage, filling this space with my own energy, my own hope. And it is all about my manifesting a fullness for within, not hoping for things outside of me. For I have balance without his arms grounding me. Yet once I did think of him as I spun alone, hoping not to fall off course. But I was able to hold my place well in this life. For without him, my moves are boundless, and I do not need to be thrown into the air, for I can propel myself there and then float as a feather does, or the seeds of a dandelion come back to rest on point. I am beholden to my inner workings, for they pull me upward. I am beholden to the nature of gravity and momentum, things I can work with on my own accord. Single-handed, of myself, all I am, all I need. This dance of one. Gotta clap for Megan, definitely. Woo! Yeah, Megan's amazing, and I've really been fortunate to do my poetry with so many different types of artists. I've actually worked with sculptors, worked with other musicians, worked with dancers, other writers. It's pretty amazing. Here's another poem about fall, since we're in fall. It's called Coming of the Season of Death. It is not quite summer yet. It is not quite summer's end yet. But there are already ripe pumpkins in the fields I am passing on this early September morn. Autumn will be upon us soon, and I am beginning to see it now in golden rays that were once in summer were pale, brilliantly, blindingly so. But now the fall spectrum's harvest is upon us, and those golden oranges and yellows and browns and reds, abundant on the farm tables, I am passing on my way to the funeral. Who would have thought the path to death could be so glorious? Dare I say that death is brilliantly orange and majestic like those pumpkins? Dare I say that death need be collected like a crop so it can come to fruition? Dare I say that death is picked from the field at the peak of perfection? Dare I say that the season of death starts as a harvest? Next poem is called Why Dream? Perhaps there is more to life than the constructs of a beginning, a middle, and an end. For is not time just that thing that contracts us? Yet remember that our dreams give wings to notion beyond time, beyond perhaps, beyond knowing. And now my dreams carry me to imagine the face of God is not that of a man nor a woman's. That the face of God is not like that at all. And in so much as the stationing of stars in the infinite universe would construct God's face, why then is that not God? I once was taught to dream a limited likeness of God, But now when I dream, it is with the essence of an expanding universe. For is the face of a man or a woman not just the outcome of stars? And because of this, I believe all things are connected and divine. Okay. Down to our last two poems this evening. And there's, I think, plenty of cookies left, so we can all go back, and I haven't gotten a cookie yet, so. I'd like to thank everyone for coming this evening. This has been really incredible to do this. And I am going to share another poem that is about a friend of mine who just lost her daughter. She shared with me that she was trying to find her daughter again. She lost her very suddenly, and she would put on her daughter's bathrobe just to smell her daughter's scent. And she would go out and look at the full moon and try and find her daughter's face in the full moon. And that touched me so much that I decided to write this poem. She really became my muse. So this is about the full moon, the blue moon this past summer, and my friend going out and looking for her daughter's face in it. It's called Join the Full Lit Moon. Doesn't the moon claim us as it pulls our watery emotions like tides? We are drawn to gaze upon its face, for the features of those we have lost are there, when we take the time to discern them. And as the full moon glows, it casts milky scenarios into the darkness, lovely and fairy-like and ominous, with the pale of its castings. Yet without it, in the dimness of the night, we only see what we can. We only feel what is at the surface. Yet when we join with the full lit moon again, we return to our dreams. Okay, we've come to the last poem of our evening. And I, again, would like to thank everyone for being here. And I'd like to thank Spiritus for hosting this event, the Mental Health Center. I'd like to thank Reverend Myra Brown, Amy Durkee, Mark Potter, my partners in crime, Stephen Armstrong, Megan Flaherty in the back. Please give a major round of applause to Stephen Armstrong, who has made me sound so amazing this evening. Yes, he is really something. Now, I was a fundraiser in a past life, so I'm going to do a little pitch here. Tonight, they asked if you could give a $10 contribution. And if you couldn't, that was fine. And if you could, that was great. And now I'm going to say if you can give a little more than $10, 64% of their funding comes from individuals like you. So if you can, give a little bit more. The Mental Health Center is a very important component of what Spiritus Christi does. So, I'd like to also thank Brian Agnello for filming this evening. This will be on my YouTube channel. This is going to be on my YouTube channel sometime next week. And if you want to find me and my social media, everything is under the name Catherine's Poetic Life. So remember that. And I've got to populate my social media. I'm legitimized, but I'm unlegitimate, but I'm not legitimized fully with social media. So please go to Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and look for Catherine's Poetic Life. Okay, and as we said before, my first book is finally out. It took 27 years to publish, but it finally happened. And it's amazing. So, thank you. This final poem is about the inner child within all of us, and how important that inner child is. I've done a lot of work to just keep that inner child healthy and strong and loved. And this poem is about that. It's called To My Inner Child. Oh, little girl, your sweet nature becomes me as you twirl in fields of flowers, as you lay down and let the clouds tell you stories. Be frivolous, somersault, become dizzy with giggles. But look and see me there with you. Know that I am watching. I have you. You are safe. Some days I will need to recall your twirling, your somersaults, the cloud stories, for your playfulness is my salvation. For within you are the resolutions of a deserved childhood, an unconditional transcendence of love. You are there within me. I am here to protect you, for in doing so completes us, and we can do anything under any circumstances. You need only play with abandon. I need only protect and love us. Thank you, everyone. I would like to call up Megan and Stephen, and Roy will take a bow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yay! Thank you so much. Okay, enjoy the evening. There's more cookies in the back.